So we have started our fraction addition with the first two examples, exercise 14.5, which won't be on the video. But luckily, the addition concept is fairly straightforward, that we're just merging the two quantities. So we have to, I guess, finish. 4 examples might be too many for simple addition, but whatever. It gets us to draw some pictures, so that's fun. So now we have a mixed number. 14.5, yes. And there's no rush. I don't think there's a rush. How long can we go on this? Into next week. We're fine. So 2 1/4 plus 2/3. We'll see the multiplication and division might not be so straightforward. So it'll definitely maybe ramp up a little bit. So 2, that's the line, sorry. I want to draw a little box. So I don't want to make them too small, so I have 2 whole loaves of bread and another little bit of a loaf that I'm going to say I'm putting them together with the second one I'll draw below it because I don't have space. So for the first one, I don't need to divide the whole pieces up. Because I'm just adding to them, they're not going to be split in any way. But I do have to divide the last loaf of bread because I only have 1/4 of it. So the pink is what my first number is. And then for the second quantity, I'm dividing that into thirds. So 3 equal slices. And I just start with columns always. It doesn't really matter. And I'll make that blue. I have 2 of the 3. So I know in the beginning it's still quite simple. Then our behind the scenes finding of the common denominator is by way of the rectangles by splitting the first one horizontally according to the other denominator, which would be thirds, like so. I try and make them somewhat equal. And the second quantity gets split horizontally in fourths. No, because I'm adding, those full loaves of bread aren't going to be split in any way. But later on, if I subtract, I could be taking from them. I don't know. But because I'm adding now, it's not going to change those two. So I don't have to do the split for all of them. And in that situation, I'm only going to do it if I need to as well. So what we could do then, because we have whole portions already, we, let's say, already have 2 whole holes. And I'm going to make them pink. I'm going to put a little pink shade on them. It's those 2. And they're not going to change. So then, with those 2, which I just have to keep in mind, I have to look at, well, how many pink little sections do I have? I have 3 of them with 3 pink little squares. I'll call them squares, whatever they are, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue ones. Now they look a little longer, but they are the exact, each one of them is the exact same portion of a whole rectangle because the rectangle is split into 12 in both cases. So they do represent the same portion of a rectangle. So, whoops, that was blue. So the whole, because I'm not using any shortcut, any mathematical property, it takes a long time to write out the words and intuitively explain how we're adding these things. That's the downside. So together we have 11. Should I keep track of the 2 holes all the time? Sure, I would. 2 holes as well as 11 selected little pieces. Now it takes 12 little pieces to make 1 hole. So we have, in the end, in total, you can say, 2 holes and 11 twelfths of another one. And again, the detail that you show, just make sure it's enough to, when you imagine someone reading this without any mathematical background other than not even a fraction concept, barely a fraction concept, they can follow. Cannot see my mouse. They can follow what the train of thought is. And if you're not sure, then add more words, write more words. People think that, oh, I'm doing math, I can't write any words. That is, I don't know where that comes from. And whoever said that should maybe lose their job. Because that should not be anything, any message anyone ever gives. There should be words. Any questions on this one? Should we do one more? It feels a little easy. I don't want to bore you. Did anyone bring a pillow? Living on the edge. Because addition is the easiest of all of them. Should we do one more? I don't know. It takes a long time because of all the words, but since it's the only one on the video, I guess I should. Number 4, yeah. So they're 1 2/3 plus 1 7/8. It gets me to practice eighths, which is always a fun time. So I definitely want to make these big enough so I can split the second one into 8 slices. So I'm just going to make my rectangles now because I am using my rectangle tool. Might as well finish it. So the pink quantity is going to be this one. It's going to be this one. And I'll make the blue quantity the second one. So for the first one, pink, I have 1 whole loaf of bread. That's not going to change. And then a little portion of the next. So that needs to be divided into thirds. It's really a drawing class, more than a math class. Not fancy drawing, but you can put your own spin on it. And I have 2 of the 3 sections. Put some color there, some crayons. Yeah. Artistic freedom. Then for the second quantity, I have 1 whole again, and that's not going to change, as well as some slices, and I'm slicing into 8 equal pieces. But 8's not so bad. Split it in half, split each half in half, and then split each of those in half. Just give yourself the space to see all the lines and count them. And I am taking 7 of those, which is all but 1. It's not so bad. There we go. And I'll remind myself here, it's always nice to say in words what the addition is doing. It's putting everything together. So I have the pink together with the blue. Now the common denominator part in the background is splitting the first one using the other denominator. So 8 horizontally, half in half, and more halves. Like, ooh, that's not very good, but I'm just going to go with it. Like so, and I just want to brush up my pink to show, you know, I do have all of these. Might not look like it. I have them all. And then the other rectangle gets split horizontally into 3 pieces, which isn't so bad. All right. So I already have two whole rectangles, and then with, how many are these? 2 columns of 8, so 16 pink ones. 16 little pink sections, as well as 3 rows of 7, so 21 little blue sections. And because each of those split the rectangle into 24 pieces, they are the same portion of a rectangle. You can say here, oops, that's blue. I think the only problem that little Timmy is going to have is he maybe will say, but the pink and the blue pieces are not the same. One is a little thin flat one, and the other one is more of a square. Why can't I just put them together? So then you're going to have to maybe start the second one with rows so that they all have 3 columns and 8 rows. But I'll leave that to you. For consistency, I'm always doing columns first. Same portion of a whole, which is why I can count them and compare them. So together we have 2 wholes as well as 37 selected little pieces. Am I going too fast or too slow? I don't know. Okay. Then a reminder for the reader, really. It takes 24 little pieces to make a whole. So that means this 37 selected pieces really becomes 24 and another 13. So this is another whole. So in total, we have 3 wholes and 13 24ths. And of course, you can always use your calculator. No one can stop you. Do whatever you want to do on the side to see that you get the answer you should get, right? Everyone should know what the answer is. The issue is, how do we get there intuitively? That is the issue. It is, honestly, I don't really give marks for the answer because I assume, I take marks away for the wrong one, yes, but just getting the right answer doesn't reward you with anything. It's how you get there. And the addition is almost so simple you don't know what to say sometimes. It's almost better if it's more complicated, that you have to remember a sequence of steps. This one, because it's so simple, it's open to whatever you feel like saying. Just try and be objective and look that, can little Timmy follow this? And sort of learn from this to a degree? Or you can sort of walk him through it. There has to be words in order to do that. Any questions or comments on addition? Not very hard, but it's the first one. So the first question in that, on that page will be an addition or a subtraction question.
Please remember to click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and to subscribe if you want to be notified of more videos. Thank you.